Good afternoon, beautiful people.
The temperament of the beat.
I love you,
The temperament of the beat.
and I hope that you're having an easy day.
Of the beat.
Hope you're taking it easy on yourself. Be kind to you. So yeah, I've tried to make a couple. This will be my third attempt to talk about cannabis. I want to talk about weed, hash, oil, edibles, shatter, anything that's like THC or CBD in there. And there's a lot of, and another subject about this is perception. So we're going to talk about weed and perception. Now the perception, everybody's view on things is different. Everybody sees things differently. Everybody gets affected by what they see differently, and what they read and what they hear, and they take different meanings from it. So yeah, we're individuals. We have individual ways of looking at it, yeah? So cannabis, we all know the facts, yeah? It's a medicine. I mean, some people don't know this. It's an ancient medicine. Ancient. Like before anyone thought of doctors and making millions with the NHS. Ooh, let's get rich off telling people they're ill when they're not. Yeah, long before that, when medicine actually was medicine, yeah? So I'm not being smug about this, I'm not. But it's an important point. Yeah, and every person is different. Some medicines work differently they work differently for everyone. And I'm not talking about the medicines from the doctors, I'm talking about proper medicines, yeah? Herbs and stuff from the earth, you know what I mean? So yeah, I could go on for hours about the different medicinal plants, and a lot of our medicine comes from plants which most of you know. So I'm not here to tell you stuff you already know, I'm here to talk about some of the negativity surrounding it, yeah? Because I keep coming up against it, and I'm not a major stoner. I'm not here to justify my drug intakes or what I do and don't do, but I do feel the need to explain a little bit, yeah? Because some people perceive, well, I know for a fact most of you perceive weed as the way you perceive it. It's not necessarily what it's for, alright? Basically, you can use it in small amounts to take the edge off things and to allow you to relax. And that's why they say about a spiritual side of it, because it is. You can relax your mind enough to allow yourself to be more positive, and then inspirations come, it inspires you. It is a spiritual medicine. It is a ritualistic, it's used in rituals for thousands and thousands of years for a reason, because it opens up your mind and your heart and allows you to just relax into the present moment, which is like the most important thing to do ever, is just be in this present moment. There's so much more benefit to each other when we stay present, you know? And I can only speak for myself. Like I said, everybody's journey is different. Everybody has different reactions to things, you know? But for me, it allows me to just slow my freaking crazy brain down just a little bit. And I always sound and look worse than what I am. I always sound really stupid on these videos or whatever, yeah? I sound stoned out of my mind. Well, I'm not. Alright? For a start, for my mental health, this is a really good tip out there for anyone that gets anxiety and depression. If it's really bad, and if you're having anxiety at a really high level, and you know, panic attack or anxiety and social anxiety, you want to claw claw your bones off and run out the room and run home and you don't know why, and it pisses you off and makes you crazy because you. Why do I feel this way? Don't smoke when you feel like that. I mean, again, it might work, but I wouldn't recommend it. For me, I've learned, nah. It just keeps you in that place of anxiety. Well, it won't pull you out of it because it slows your brain down so you can't actually work through it. Yeah? So I've learned there's times you just don't. You think, oh yeah, I can have a joint, that'll chill me out. I'm fucking anxiety, I need something to slow. That ain't gonna do it. And neither is a drink, by the way. But again, just a suggestion from what's worked for me. I'm just saying what's worked for me, really. But I think other people have got similar ways to me and might. Anyway, whatever. So, I smoke. This is, again, I'm telling it because it might be good advice for other people that are smoking too much weed, maybe, and it's not helping their anxiety and shit, and they're just sitting at home and never really servicing above a level towards happy. Because they start when you're not happy, it slows you down. You're never going to increase up, are you? So yeah, I have little one pot ones. Really occasionally. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have it in the morning for a start. You don't have to have it all day. It's not like sitting around smoking joint. Me and my mates, I've been through that stage. I've done it, and you smoke tons and tons. You're like, yeah. I have a big joint for breakfast, then I see some friends, have a few more joints with them, and just do your whole day like that. It's pointless. It's a waste of life, and I'm not judging anyone that's doing that because it's fun. It's cool, and as long as it's fun and you're having fun with it, live and let live. Yeah, I'm talking about my journey for the benefit of anyone out there, like the people that know me, and for the ones that don't, that might get inspired by the way I do it or whatever. So yeah, I just have little tiny one pots, and even that, I'm putting it down. And it's funny, my mum taught me this one when she used to smoke. Yeah, don't know how many of you knew that, but yeah, she was a smoker, but only roll-ups. But she taught me when I started smoking, and she told me, look, Bryn, if you're gonna smoke, try and have a roll-up, and you put it in the ashtray. You have a little puff, put it down. And do you know what? That's how I do it now. I'll make one of them little ones, and I'll put it down, and I'll put it down, and I'll put it down, and that could go on for 3 hours, maybe 4, especially when I'm playing around with the videos and teaching myself how to use things on the computer and learning things and keeping busy. Then yeah, I'm not living my whole life in a stone bubble. What would be the point? But and all these issues about it being too strong, I get that, but you can source out, and this is why it should be legalised 100%. The whole world's legalising it. England's one of the few countries, I think England and France are the only ones in Europe that haven't, I think. I'm not sure, so don't quote me, I might be wrong. Shut up, Bryn. What I mean is, it's important because we can't get the organically grown. But you can, that's the point. You can, but it's harder. You have to ask someone, they have to go and make it, or you have to grow it yourself and not use any chemicals. But that's not a big deal. But if it was legalised, that wouldn't be a problem. And all this super strong stuff and that, leave that for the people that want to blow their brains out and be stoned all day. Some people want that, that's cool. That's the way, they're living a party life, they're having a good time, let them do it. But it can be used medicinally, and it is meant for that, and there's nothing wrong with it. And like any medicine, you find your balance, you find the right dose, if you want. I don't like calling it that, because we're not talking about some shitty chemical from the doctor. So yeah, you've got to source out organically grown stuff. which isn't that hard to do if you just ask the man. Yeah? So, people got their own ideas, like they judge you and they go, oh yeah, you're on drugs. I'm sorry, but I'm not on drugs. I use a really good medicine that helps me, and that makes me a better person for everybody around me, everybody that talks to me. I'm not relying on it for my panic attacks and depression. I'm not using it as a crutch in any way, and that's a brilliant thing. But people have got that idea in their head, and it's fair enough, because that's what we see with what we're shown by the world and society and media and people around, people all our lives. Stoners, it's not true, man. It's not true. I'm opening myself up for inspiration. I'm allowing myself to relax and meditate once a day, maybe twice. Do you know? And I do meditate, and I do my breathing, and I do manage to find centered space. So it's a tool. It's a medicine and a spiritual tool, and that is the bottom line. Medicine, spiritual tool. And yeah, so you can find a balance. You just have to explore what works for you and what doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And for some people, it's not going to help ever. Do you know what I mean? But for others, done the right way, you might think it's not an option for you, but there's a way around it. You don't have to inhale it. Do you know what I mean? You can mix up some butter. The recipe's easy, and it's not bad for you in any way. You're just cooking it into your food, and that way you can have that as a way of relaxing and getting into meditation and stuff in the evenings, sometimes, however often you need it, 2-3 times a week. And it helps with so many mental health things. It doesn't have to make it worse. You don't have to smoke strong stuff and make it worse. You can get the right stuff and do it the right way, and it will help. So it's a shame that a lot of people are missing out on something that could be benefiting them. And yeah, it's all good. A lot of people are waking up, and there's a lot more stuff about the medical side of it out there now in the mainstream consciousness and media. But still, there's this perception across the board of Cheech and Chong, fucking, we're dumb hippies. We think we're spiritual, but we're not, we're stoned. I'm sorry, that's not the case. That is a perception, and it's not true. I don't even know anyone like that. I know hundreds of people that smoke weed, and none of them are like that. None of them are dumb. Do you know what I mean? In fact, they're all creative and do crazy, creative, lovely stuff. Because they find a balance, and that allows them to be more of who they are, which makes it better for everyone. So yeah, a society full of people that are looking after themselves spiritually, emotionally and mentally can only be a good thing. So I say legalise it. I say spread awareness of this misconception, of getting rid of this perception, this public perception, this personal perception that people have got. I say spread awareness of the benefits, and that there is a safe ways of doing things. You don't have to listen to the media and what all the teenagers are up to. That's just silliness. All teenagers and young people do that shit, but we find our balance later on, yeah. And this doesn't have to. You don't have to think druggy. Do you know what I mean? Ooh, druggy. No. Wide awake. So I love you, and thanks for listening. I hope no one thought I was having a moan, because I wasn't, because things are on the up. You know, personally for me, and what I see around, no matter what the doom and gloom merchants out there are going, oh, the state of the world. Look into people's eyes, talk to them. Yeah, and if you're one of these moaners, then that's all you'll see is other people moaning. But trust me, it's not as bad as everyone thinks, alright? And you know, and just on this subject of people getting the right medicines and that is getting better in our culture. It is. You can get acupuncture at the hospital. So there you go. And they're doing clinical trials on for medical trials on freaking MDMA and LSD as well. But that's a whole nother subject. Anyway, I love you. Stay happy. Remember how blessed you are. Yeah. And enjoy the rest of your day. Peace be the journey.